gated community. I could have laughed at the irony. My private helicopter was standing by at the airport, but here I was following Mom's strict instructions to arrive, like everyone else. "ID please," the guard said, barely glancing at me in my simple black turtleneck. I handed over my driver's license. Sarah Martinez, CEO of Quantum Tech Solutions. Not that it mattered here. I was just the family disappointment who couldn't get a real job. My phone buzzed. Emergency board meeting in 2 hours. Fortune 500 acquisition pending. The guard waved me through and I walked the manicured path to our ancestral home, where my siblings' luxury cars already lined the driveway. "Look who finally made it," my sister Rachel called from the porch. "Still can't afford a car, Sarah?" I thought about my fleet of vehicles sitting in my private garage. "The bus is environmentally friendly." "Right," my brother Michael smirked. "That's why you take it. Not because you blew Dad's investment on that tech startup." If they only knew that Dad's grudging $50,000 had multiplied into billions under my leadership. But Mom's rules for the family meeting were clear. No discussing business. "Your cousin Andrea just made junior partner," Mom announced as I entered. "And she's younger than you." My phone lit up again. Pentagon contract confirmed. White House briefing scheduled. "Can't even dress properly," Rachel muttered, eyeing my simple outfit. Actually a hand-tailored European piece that cost more than her monthly salary. The distant sound of helicopter blades made me check my watch. Right on schedule. "What's that noise?" Michael asked, moving to the window. "Probably the hospital helicopter," Mom said dismissively. "Now about your career choices, Sarah." My phone buzzed again. "Ma'am, the board is assembling. DoD representatives arrived early." "At least Andrea has a real office," Mom continued. "Where do you work these days, Sarah?" "Still in that storage unit." I suppressed a smile, thinking of my company's gleaming 60-story headquarters downtown. The one Dad called, "that ugly new building ruining the skyline." The helicopter sound grew louder. "Speaking of work," Rachel said, adjusting her assistant manager nameplate, "my bank is hiring tellers." I could put in a word. The massive black helicopter appeared outside the window, the Quantum Tech logo clearly visible on its side. "Must be some emergency at the hospital," Michael mused, squinting at the aircraft. My phone rang, the distinctive tone I'd set for Pentagon calls. Mom shot me a disapproving look. "Still can't silence your phone for family time?" "You should take career advice from Andrea," Rachel pressed. "She has her own parking spot at the firm." I glanced at my watch. The board wouldn't wait much longer. Neither would the Joint Chiefs. "Ma'am," my security head's voice came through my earpiece. "Secretary of Defense is asking for you personally." The helicopter circled lower, its downdraft making the windows rattle. "That pilot's flying awfully close," Dad complained, moving to close the curtains. "Actually," I said, standing up, "they're right where they're supposed to be." "What do you mean?" Mom asked just as my phone lit up with urgent messages from 3 different world leaders. The helicopter touched down on the massive lawn, its Quantum Tech logo now unmistakable. "That's my ride," I said simply. "That's my ride," I said, sliding my phone into my pocket. "Your what?" Rachel's coffee cup clattered against its saucer. "My helicopter. The board meeting starts in an hour." I straightened my simple turtleneck, the one Rachel had mocked, not recognizing the designer label that cost more than her annual salary. "Stop joking," Michael scoffed. "That's obviously for someone imper." He froze mid-sentence as 2 suited agents entered the room. "Ms. Martinez," the lead agent said, "the Secretary of Defense is waiting. And the UK Prime Minister has requested a brief call during transit." Mom's face went pale. "Secretary of, what is this? Remember that storage unit startup?" I smiled, accepting the secure tablet an agent handed me. "It's now Quantum Tech Solutions, the company that owns that ugly building downtown." "The quantum computing company?" Michael's banking expertise finally kicked in. "The one that's revolutionizing global finance, defense systems, space technology." I checked another message. "Is that one? The company currently worth more than the GDP of several countries." Rachel's assistant manager nameplate suddenly looked very small. But you take the bus," Mom stammered. Because you insisted I arrive like everyone else, I replied. Though my usual transport is a bit different. The helicopter's blades cast rhythmic shadows across the room. Those calls you keep getting. Dad's voice trailed off as he recognized the presidential seal on my secure phone. Are from people who actually understand what I built, I finished. Unlike family members who thought I was wasting my potential. Rachel found her voice first. But at Christmas you said you were working on computer problems. Quantum encryption for NATO is technically a computer problem, I replied, reviewing classified documents on my tablet. So is securing the world's financial systems. Another agent appeared. Ma'am, Beijing is on the secure line. Tell them I'll call back during flight, I said, watching Mom's expression shift from dismissal to dawning realization. That article last week, Michael said slowly, about the tech CEO revolutionizing global defense. That was page 38 of your bank's morning briefing? Yes, that was me. I checked my watch. The same technology your bank just paid billions to implement. The helicopter's shadow swept across the room again as it adjusted position. But Andrea has a corner office, Mom whispered, her worldview crumbling. I have a corner of the planet, I corrected. Those satellites you saw on the news. The ones changing global communications? Those are mine. Dad's hands shook as he reached for the business magazine on the coffee table. The one he'd been bragging about Andrea being mentioned in. My face was on the cover. The quantum breakthrough everyone's talking about, he said, recognition finally hitting. The technology that's worth more money than our entire family has made in 5 generations? I finished. The one you said was a waste of time? Yes. Rachel's phone buzzed. Her bank manager calling about the new quantum security systems being installed. Systems that came from her bus-riding sister's company. Ms. Martinez, another agent interrupted. The Joint Chiefs are assembled. The Joint. Mom's voice failed. Chiefs of Staff, I confirmed, gathering my things. They're much more interested in quantum computing than they are in corner offices or parking spots. The helicopter blades grew louder, emphasizing each word as I continued. So about that teller position, Rachel? The next morning's headlines said it all. Quantum Tech CEO closes historic $300 billion defense contract. Below, a photo of me boarding my helicopter from my parents' lawn had become the talk of their affluent neighborhood. Mom's phone hadn't stopped ringing. Country club friends suddenly remembering they had a third child. Sarah? Oh yes, we always knew she was brilliant. I watched the chaos unfold from my office. The entire top floor of that ugly building Dad had complained about. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a perfect view of the city, including their gated community that now seemed so small. Your sister Rachel is in the lobby, my assistant announced. Again. And Michael's called 4 times, added my secretary. Something about investment opportunities? I turned from the window where another company helicopter was landing on my private helipad. Tell them both my family office handles all personal investments. They can apply through normal channels. My phone lit up with a text from Mom. Sunday dinner this week? Before I could respond, alerts flashed across my screens. The quantum encryption system had just prevented another global banking crisis. Michael's bank would be calling soon, not knowing their savior was his bus-riding sister. The Prime Minister is holding on line 1, my assistant said. And NASA needs to move up the satellite launch. Tell the PM I'll call back. NASA gets priority. I smiled, remembering Mom's constant comparisons to cousin Andrea's law firm achievements. Wonder what Andrea thought about her clients' security systems being powered by my technology. Dad's message came next. Princess, about that investment I refused. Route all family financial inquiries to legal, I told my team. And schedule the movers. Moving day already? My CFO asked, entering with more contracts. The penthouse is ready, I confirmed. 40 floors above my parents' neighborhood. Perfect view of their house. Rachel's third attempt to reach me flashed on my screen. Her bank was hemorrhaging clients after declining our security upgrade. Ironic given her teller job offer last week. Should we send a car for the family dinner? My assistant asked. No, I said, watching another helicopter approach. They can take the bus. I hear it's environmentally friendly. The quantum computing servers hummed in the background, processing more money in a second than my siblings would see in their lifetimes. One more thing, I added. Send Mom a photo of my new parking spot. All 18 helipads of it. Below, I could see Rachel's car circling the building again. She'd learn what everyone else had. The sister they made take the bus now controlled the skies. Success wasn't about proving them wrong anymore. It was about showing them just how right I'd been, one helicopter ride at a time. The next morning's headlines said it all. Quantum Tech CEO closes historic $300 billion defense contract. Below, a photo of me boarding my helicopter from my parents' lawn had become the talk of their affluent neighborhood. I sat in my private conference room, the entire top floor of that ugly building Dad had complained about. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a perfect view of their gated community, now looking remarkably small. Your mother's on line 3, my assistant announced. And the country club has called 6 times. The neighbors saw the helicopter. Mom's voice trembled when I finally answered. Why didn't you tell us? I tried. For years. I watched another company helicopter land on one of my private helipads. But you were too busy comparing me to Andrea's law firm job. Speaking of Andrea, Mom continued hopefully, she'd love to discuss representing Quantum Tech. We already have a legal team. Several actually. In 12 countries. My quantum servers hummed in the background, processing more money in a minute than Andrea would bill in her lifetime. But we're family, Mom insisted. Funny. That didn't matter when you made me take the bus yesterday. Rachel's message flashed on my screen. Her bank was losing clients after declining our security upgrade. The sister she'd offered a teller position to now controlled their entire digital infrastructure. Sunday dinner? Mom tried again. Your father wants to discuss that investment he turned down. I watched another helicopter approach, carrying the Secretary of Defense. I'll send a car, I replied. Oh, wonderful. We'll pick a nice restaurant. No,